Today's workshop is about healing our inner critic or learning how to help others heal their inner critics. Maybe you don't have an inner critic, but you want more self-compassion. So we're going to be doing a lot of good, helpful learning and personal transformation style work is the wrong word, pleasure. So we will be gathering our resources from our life, and we'll be filling up with some needed empowerment and self-love, self-compassion. And we will also be really transforming the relationship with our inner critic. And some of you are group coaches learning to use this workshop with others. Some of you are meditators who want to do this from that deeper place of mindfulness, and we'll be including how this ties in. Some of you I see are energy coaches I've trained, and you might be using this with clients, whatever kind of coach you are. So I'm excited to get into the topic with you. Just a little heads up, I'm taking a moment to give co-host to some team members. We've got Linda here. I think you are already the co-host. Great. And we've got Mark here. And I'm not seeing Mark yet, but oh, there we go. Okay. So there we go. Awesome. We're all set. And what do you need to get started for today's workshop? Let's see. If you could open up a doc on your computer, if you can turn on your video, it's extra nice for myself and for others to be able to see each other. We really create the energy of this workshop together. Before sitting down to be with you, I'm in a temporary home situation because we had a little mini flood in our home. So I made sure to kind of I created a square around myself where I set an intention in the four squares, even though I'm in a larger room, the 4 points of the square. And I grounded my energy and I ask now for grounding. And I always like to make sure my heart is really open and that I am here fully as myself and also open to any channeling of the higher self and universal qualities that want to come in. So whether that's guides or angels or higher self, whatever that means for you, sometimes it's nice to call in that support from non-ordinary reality when we're going to do this kind of deep, transformative, healing type journeying and exploration. So I'm going to go ahead and just check the chat. I like that. I like that. I see a bunch of you have written in. Happy Saturday! Good to have you here, Deborah in Florida, and Anita, and Jordan, and Vernell, and Barbara, and Joshua. Good to be here with you. Awesome, Vicky. Allie, great to have you here, and I love to see your messages. And Stephanie, welcome. And if you're tuning in later on, there will be a replay of this on my YouTube channel. And if you're here in YouTube and you enjoy it, please like the workshop and feel free to reach out to me for more information. Okay, so what is the inner critic? Let's start there. Who would like to share in the chat if you definitely know what I'm talking about by the inner critic? Many of us do. I'll share how I experience my inner critic, and I'm going to definitely share my personal ways of working with that. I'm also going to be taking you through some writing exercises and some meditation. and some ways that we can just kind of be with our own experience and create new ways of being with it. If you are a visual person and you want to draw, if you're a kinesthetic person, you want to move at any time during the workshop, please move, draw, do whatever you need to make it the most helpful and comfortable for yourself. We're also going to be doing some breathing exercises. So I'm scrolling down the chat to see what people say about their inner critic. Yep, I have one. Blizzard brain, what a great description. The little voice that tells me all the reasons why I should or shouldn't do something. My gremlin, the too much empath procrastinator. I'm speaking everyone's out loud now, okay? The introjected aspect of our psyche that usually comes from our childhood programming that tends to always criticize us. Yes, and that could be a parent's voice, a grandparent's voice, a teacher's voice. It could be just like an older voice that we don't really know. It can just be thoughts or feelings or a procrastination or a fogginess. It can also show up in some people physically as pain, headaches, fatigue. Not that those things might not also have other causes, they might, but some people, that's really how it shows up, more at the body level than as thoughts. It's interesting. Some people don't have an inner dialogue, which I find fascinating. My inner dialogue, as my inner criticism and my inner critic kind of quieted, so did a lot of my thoughts just going all the time. And I always find that pretty interesting. Someone wrote the tender part. Yeah, that nagging voice telling me I'm doing it wrong. My fierce critic, but not immediately, not immediately, fortunately. Yes, and everyone will access the recording. My inner voice that tells me I'm not enough. My childhood messages told me that I now repeat to myself. Yes, so many. I'm not going to be able to read every comment, but absolutely. So when I started to become more present with my thoughts through meditation, that's when I started to be able to notice that there was a different kind of thought I had that for me was very mixed with a feeling state. And it was about not being enough. And it's very personal to share this stuff, right? So for me, I've always valued being caring and being open-hearted and taking care of others, and of course, it's funny how the inner critic would kind of attach to that. And so it would tell me I wasn't caring enough. My heart wasn't big enough. I wasn't doing enough for others. It was always like, be more loving, be more present, give more, really like sort of the opposite of the part of oneself that might be like, take care of yourself. My inner critic was like, don't care for yourself. You're not doing enough for everybody else. And that's what you need to do. And then it would shame me if I wasn't doing that. So in myself, it didn't really connect to a parent. Although who knows, of course, and at a deeper level, there might be that connection there. But I didn't do a lot of searching about origin, and I don't think we have to. It's great if in therapy you want to do that kind of work or in some other type of healing. But for this kind of healing practice we're going to do today, what we're going to do is actually, if some of you guys are familiar with activation method, this will make sense to you. We're going to do some elevation to begin. We're going to resource through a kind of shamanic meditation journey, calling in our strengths and lost power and what we appreciate about ourselves. We're going to make a what I love about me list. We're going to be using both non-ordinary reality, breathing, and also just good old writing and communicating with our inner critic and with our beliefs about self-compassion, self-love, common humanity. So we're really working at 3 or 4 levels here. The level of thoughts and being able to create new thoughts for ourselves, the level of beliefs, the level of non-ordinary reality where we can call in helpers, where we can journey over our life, taking messages from our creative mind, our subconscious that it gives us to gather our great qualities, our life experiences, our self-love and compassion, and our abilities that we've learned in this life, to gather those up. This is grounding and supportive. And then we'll be journaling and processing at the more mind level about communication, about beliefs, about recreating that relationship to the inner critic. So we're going to start at the mind level, then we're going to go to the breathing and meditation. We're going to return to the mind. We're going to have our notebook to journal. So we'll be bouncing around a lot. I'm going to go ahead and share my slides with you right now. And let's start with, what is the inner critic for you? This is a personal workshop, so this means this is about you personally. Please write down for yourself the ways that the inner critic shows up in your mind or your body, in your feelings. And it can be as a fogginess, it can be as a procrastination, it can be as a voice. How is it for you? Get clear for yourself. And I want to definitely give people time to take some notes. So go with the first thing that shows up for you. Really important today that we just trust our instincts, and whatever shows up, we write down. We're not sharing what we're writing down with anyone else. This is our own personal workshop. Of course, you're welcome to share with everybody. Now I'm wondering, what does the inner critic, however it shows up for you, what does it keep you from experiencing? Is there an emotion? Is there an activity, an action, a connection? What does the inner critic keep you from experiencing? See if you can just get it down to one word even. Like for someone, it might be, it keeps me from connection. For someone else, it might be, it keeps me from the work I want to do. For someone else, it might be, it keeps me from being awake. What is it for you? And it's okay to have several words. It might be several things. You might notice that it's already shifted in your life in some ways, and it used to keep you from some things. Now it keeps you from some other things. And when you have that down, we're going to do a little more communicating with the inner critic. Now we're going to, first, let's use our imagination a little bit and just see what it's like to imagine your inner critic maybe sitting in front of you and open to a dialogue with you, open to some higher level communication. And this is really important. We're going to come back to this later as well. And all we need to find in ourselves is a little curiosity. Let's take a couple nice breaths now. We're going to just activate our energy and body awareness. So just feel into your feet for a moment, maybe rock them up and down, close your eyes if you want to tap your heart as you just breathe naturally, connecting with the ground, with the heart, feeling an openness in your body, like sun shining on your face. And let's just take 3 deep breaths. And with your in breath, breathing in sunlight, imagining sunlight entering you. And with your exhale, releasing like the wind, letting go. With your inhale, breathing in connection, breathing in love. Whatever images or feelings come, releasing with your exhale, letting go as though you were cleaning dust off a shelf. And one more deep, deep inhale, breathing in that sunlight, that goodness, visions of nature you love, exhaling and clearing, letting go of anything foggy, releasing as you exhale. You might want to flick your fingers a little, twist a little as you breathe, do whatever feels right, just clearing as you breathe. Okay. All right. So now let's invoke a little more curiosity and creativity and imagining that inner critic here ready to heal and dialogue with you. I'm going to ask you some questions and I want you to just write the first thing that comes to you, okay? Is the inner critic in you trying to protect you in some way? If you get a yes, how are they trying to protect you? First thing that comes to you, just write it down. You can always revisit these questions, okay? Next question, does your inner critic have any fears? What are they afraid of? Just write down single words. What is your inner critic afraid of? And ask them, imagine them in front of you. You don't have to see them or anything, but hey, what are you afraid of? Just tell me what comes, and then close your eyes and see what you receive. What is your inner critic afraid of? So whatever you get is perfect. You're inviting your creative mind to give you this information about your inner critic. Last question. What does your inner critic wish for you? What do they really want for you at the highest level of intention? Get very specific about what they want for you at that deep, true level. It might be something like, ooh, they're showing me they want me to feel a certain way, or to be protected or safe, or they're wanting me to get smaller so I won't be seen and at threat, or they're wanting me to hold back something because they're afraid of that. What is it that you notice that they really, really want for you? And how do they wish for your wellness? What is their wish for your wellness at the deepest, highest level? How do they wish for my wellness? Ask that question and let them show you how they wish for your wellness. What they want for you and how they wish for your wellness. You might find that there's a commonality between your critic's wish for you and your wish for you. Very usual that we'll find commonality there, and that's healing, that's integrating. Now we're going to switch metaphorical hats in a way here. We could think switch into a different river, a flow. And the reason we're switching is that one of the antidotes to the inner critic is our self-love and self-compassion. And the opposite of attack is embracing, right? And as we switch tracks right now to self-compassion, our inner critic is still listening and healing and absorbing. So I want you to just notice the qualities of self-compassion. You might want to close your eyes and just do some deep breathing as I speak to you the qualities of self-compassion. And let anything wash over you. You don't have to write anything. You might see things, you might remember things, imagine things, feel things, know things. That's all perfect. So self-compassion shows up as patience when things go wrong, having patience when things go wrong. Self-compassion shows up as acceptance and forgiveness when I make a mistake. Acceptance and forgiveness when I make a mistake. And just let yourself take that in. Take that in at the heart level. Take that in at the body level, the imagination, acceptance and forgiveness when I make a mistake. Self-compassion shows up by not ignoring my emotions. So again, be with that and just allow that to mix with your mind and your imagination. Self-compassion shows up when I'm not ignoring my emotions. And trust your intuition. Self-compassion shows up when I'm taking care of my needs. These might be needs for sleep, needs for social, needs for health, needs for your purpose, for your relationships. Self-compassion shows up when I'm taking care of my needs. And along those lines, listening to what my body wants or needs. Self-compassion shows up when I listen to my body. Self-compassion shows up when I'm being warm towards myself. That might be when I suffer, when I feel inadequate, when I mess up. Self-compassion shows up when I'm being warm towards myself. And you might want to imagine now for a minute, thinking of a time when things might easily go wrong, like I don't know, maybe you're driving and you get lost, or you have to slam on your brakes, and imagine patience showing up. Imagine being in a crappy mood. Maybe you have a headache, maybe you didn't sleep well. And what's it like to take care of your emotions instead of ignore them? To tell yourself that's okay, to listen to your body when you're having a difficult day. Okay, great job, guys. So now we're going to do the meditation journey. So definitely put away your paper right now. And let's just get comfortable in the chair. If you can lie down if you wish, but if you fall asleep, don't lie down. Okay, you can stand up if you fall asleep. And we're going to just start by grounding our energy, feeling the ground under your seat or under your feet or both. And as you breathe in and as you breathe out, let yourself connect to the earth. You might imagine that you're like a tree with beautiful roots going down and out through the layers of earth. And as you breathe in, Earth's energy fills you with light, with connection, radiance. And in your own way, just keep that connection going. It might be that you send like a tube of light down through your hips, down through all the layers of earth, into the heart of Mother Earth, and feeling Mother Earth's brilliant, loving light. You invite that energy to mingle with your body, with your thoughts, with your feelings, bringing that earth energy into yourself as you breathe. And just imagine a really beautiful hill or mountain. And if you can, imagine that you're walking or hiking or jogging up that hill or mountain. It's a beautiful morning. Maybe the air is crisp. You get to decide if the sun is shining, is there a light drizzle? Do you see a fog line out? What's your mountain like? What's your hike like? Feel it in your body. Imagine the visuals of it. taking one step at a time. It's fine to move your body a little as you imagine this. Is there a certain scent in the air? Do you hear birds? Perhaps there's a city far away and you can hear the sounds of the city. Or you hear the wind, the trees in the wind. And as you walk up this mountain, just imagine all that you're releasing from ordinary life. If you'd like to bring in guides, ancestors, maybe an animal helper, an angel or two or three, there's always angels available you can call in, always guides ready to support your connection and your inner wisdom. So calling in your guides and angels, animal helpers, ancestors, your higher self, as you walk up the mountain, they are with you, listening, being. And when you get to just the right place on your hike, it might be that there's a beautiful lookout point or a lovely, cozy spot that you want to rest at. This might be halfway up the mountain or all the way up, whatever feels right today. And imagine you have a bird friend that approaches you. This bird is like a guide, a visitor that supports you in safely taking a journey over the terrain of your life experience. And this bird friend gets to do the traveling for you. You ask them to go and soar and fly, and they're connected to you, so they bring you images, memories, moments of strength and love throughout your life. So whisper something to your bird. Imagine they're close to you, and if for any reason you want it to be something other than a bird, choose what it is that can fly over your life, gathering the good, gathering the love, gathering the strengths, and send your bird or friend out over the vast landscape of your life. And your friend gets to journey and share with you moments of kindness. Let them gather moments of kindness and just see what comes to you. Moments of kindness, perhaps in your life right now or in your past. These might be moments where you were kind, moments where others were kind, moments of shared kindness or witnessing of kindness. And just breathe and be with that gathering of experiences of kindness. With kindness might come love, connection, joy, beauty, patience, and just allowing those kind memories or thoughts. This might be thoughts or experiences right now that are showing up not from the past, maybe from the future, from your imagination. And just let them show up as you breathe, as you feel them. It might be an energy experience and not a direct thought or visual, just a feeling of this kindness returning home to you right now. Self-kindness, connected kindness, the kindness of nature, the kindness of learning. And let's ask our bird, our friend, our partner in this journey to bring us moments of our unique gifts and strengths. These might be related to values like being funny or being insightful or being helpful or being spontaneous or action taking, whatever it is, gathering those unique gifts and strengths, and allow yourself to fill with these unique gifts and strengths, breathing with them, letting images, words, qualities, an inner knowing of your gifts and strengths from your life or from your creative mind, just giving them to you right now through your bird friend, through your own physical experience. What's it like to allow these to be gifts and strengths that you experience in this moment, filling every cell of your body? These gifts and strengths sometimes might present as virtues. They might present as abilities, like running quickly, or gardening, or being good with numbers, whatever it is for you. Just breathe and ask your bird or your friend, your fellow traveler, to gather moments of healthy power. These might be when you set a boundary, when you took a risk, when you went on an adventure, when you learned something. Could be an easy life lesson, a hard life lesson, but you bring in that strength, that fortitude, that commitment. And allow anything naturally to come in that gives you that grounded, empowering sense in yourself right now. And gifts of joy, moments of joy, of clarity, perhaps of laughter. Gathering those moments, they might be almost everyday moments, might be special occasions, people, places, animals you love. Breathe in with that. Breathe out and feel your presence, your connection. Okay, and when you're ready, thank your friend, your soul traveler. And if they're a bird, let them back to their world with gratitude in your heart. Thank your ancestors, your guides and angels, your higher self for going on this journey with you. And take your time to return back to ordinary reality. I like to take my fingers and take the index finger to the thumb. Feel that connection as you breathe. Then take your middle finger to your thumb and feel that connection as you breathe. Take your ring finger to your thumb. I do both hands at once and feel that connection as you breathe. Take your pinky finger and your thumb, hold them together, and feel that connection as you breathe. You might be feeling light in your body, a smile in your heart or your face, your hips, your knees, your feet. And in your own way, you can open your eyes now and see what it's like to tap pinky to thumb, and then ring finger to thumb, middle finger to thumb, index finger to thumb, and then go as quickly as you can, each finger connecting to your thumb. And trust your own body's wisdom as you breathe. If one finger wants to stop, if the hands want to do something different, listen, go for it. Trusting the body's wisdom. Sometimes I played piano long ago, but I think of it like piano. Sometimes the left hand wants to do one thing while the right hand is doing something else, playing a different part of the song. Okay. All right. How was that for everybody? Let's take a moment to share in the chat. Did anything surprise you that your bird traveler found for you? If you want, you can write it in the chat or write it in your own notebook. Sometimes I go a little faster than people are ready for the sharing, and that's okay. So, taking your time. 3 helpers, said Jeannie. I'd love to know who those helpers were. And even just taking a quick note for yourself of what your bird or guide or any part of it, like almost like you're remembering a dream. You just write down keywords, little thoughts, little images. Oh, here's some shares. I had a recall when I first came to live in this house. A little bird got bit by an ant and I did not know what to do. It did not occur to try to wash his eyes. Wow, interesting. Super interesting. And so the questions in the meditation were just kind of flowing through me. I don't have those written down, but everyone will have a replay. I'm happy to share the slide again. And we have more questions. More questions are ahead for you to journal about. Oh, some great shares here. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit were there. Cookie in spacecraft, hummingbird with my mom, flying horse with my animus. Wookie, not cookie. That's funny. Okay. So this was a slide for the meditation journey, but you'll have a replay. So now we're going to do a little what I love about me list, okay? So this is part of that recall from your journey. But it's okay just to bring in things right now. So get out your doc or your paper and let's write down times I feel most natural and aligned with myself are. What are the times that you feel most aligned, most like I'm I'm good, I'm in flow? It can be simple like in the morning when I'm drinking my coffee and just relaxing. It might be when I'm out with friends laughing. It might be when I'm working or when I'm being creative. What is it for you? Times I feel most natural and aligned with myself. Write those down. And it might just be a few words right now. You can revisit these questions. So next would be strengths of mine are. What are some of the strengths that you know are part of you? You might ask yourself, I am strong when, and then you answer the question. I know many of your coaches, it might be, I feel strong when I'm helping someone. Or maybe you're a yogi, I'm strong when I'm practicing, or a meditator, or an artist. It might be that you know your strengths are related to values. Like I'm strong when I'm being funny. I'm strong when I'm thinking. I'm strong when I'm, what is it for you? And remember, you're creating a list now that you'll use in the future, the what I love about me list. So anything that pops up, it doesn't have to be related to this question. Ways you take care of yourself. What are ways you take care of yourself? I take care of myself, fill it in. It might be when you exercise, or I take care of myself when I tell someone what I need, or I take care of myself when I read. Might be very simple things. What are the things you appreciate most about yourself? What I appreciate most about me? Write that down. Don't worry, you don't have to share this with anyone. It's not bragging, it's not humble bragging. This is just for you. And if that's hard, it might be easier to expand that. What do I appreciate about life or my life? And we'll just do another minute of this journaling. If you're with this in the future, you can always pause the recording and take all the time you'd like. Like, I know one of the things I appreciate so much about my life is that I get to take walks, not even in like big nature, just in neighborhood walks. And I'm so appreciative of the flowers and the plants and the little animals I see on my walks. And it's such a little thing, but it's a big thing for my self-care and my joy. Okay, so now you've got your list or the beginning of your list. We're going to step into another flow here, which is the flow of mindfulness. And mindfulness is part of mindfulness is approaching your thoughts and feelings with your own curiosity and openness without judgment. This way you're staying present with what's arising in you. You're not over identifying with a feeling or a thought, but you're present. You can experience it showing up and releasing also without pushing it away or grabbing onto it and clinging it. So we're going to look at these statements about mindfulness with curiosity about ourselves. And when we get skillful with practices of mindfulness and our inner critic arises, we have a great tool for watching and not necessarily responding to the inner critic. It changes the relationship to the inner critic. So as I say these statements, ask yourself, is this really easy for me? That would be a number 5. Or is this really hard for me? That would be a number 1. So first question, when you're feeling really down, I'll put this in the I statement. When I'm feeling down, I try to approach my feelings with curiosity and openness. If that's easy for you, it's a number 5. If that's really hard, it's a number 1. Give yourself somewhere between easy 5 and 1 hard. When I'm feeling down, I try to approach my feelings with curiosity and openness. Okay, next question. Remember, 5 is easy, 1 is hard, and then you might be a 2 or a 3 or a 4. When I fail at something important, I try to keep things in perspective. When I fail at something important, I try to keep things in perspective. If that's easy for you, give yourself a 5. If it's hard for you, give yourself a 1, or rate it in between 1 and 5. Okay, next question. I know I can change and learn. I will be patient with myself. It's a statement, not a question. I know I can change and learn. I will be patient with myself. Feel into that. Ooh, is that easy or hard? I know I can change and learn. I will be patient with myself. It's empowering either way, whether it's easy or hard. That I statement can help you feel more present. Okay, last one. I can notice multiple perspectives within myself. The part of me that suffers, the part that wants help, and the witness observing it all. Is that easy or hard for you to do? Or just be with that statement. I can notice multiple perspectives within myself. The part of me that suffers, the part that wants help, and the witness observing it all. Feel into that a second. These three parts of you, the sufferer, the one that's asking for help or wants help, and the witness that observes it all. As we feel into that experience, there's a mindfulness. There's a patient curiosity that's open and warm and allows things to arise and disappear without attachment or judgment. So now we're going to do a little self-compassion journaling, but why don't I stop a minute and see if there's any questions or shares before we go to the next stream of self-compassion. Wendy, is that a question? I see your hand up. Let me unmute you. Hi, Wendy. Oh, just lost you there. Are you there? I'm not hearing you, Wendy, but if anyone has a share or question, please feel free to raise your hand under the react button or put it in the chat. And Linda or Mark, if you see any questions I missed or shares, let me know. Okay, looks like people are in it. This is a workshop that I know we get into the flow, and sometimes we don't want to stop and ask a question or share. They might come up later. I had just seen a hand was up and I wanted to make sure I reached out, but that sometimes happens not on purpose.
Yeah, Magali,
Yes.
Mark asks a question slash comment about qualifying mindfulness. And couldn't that be an act of the critic or the ego when we quantify it or qualify it?
Could be. Could be, absolutely. But we have to have words and we have to be able to talk about things. So when we're developing a new skill, the way I look at it is all these spiritual aspects are enhanced through practicing and skills. So just like we don't learn to ride a bicycle smoothly right away, we break down the steps of riding a bicycle and then we're enjoying riding the bike. So when we break down the qualities of compassion, of mindfulness, of openness, of all these things, we're building skills in ourselves. And when we're really suffering, something throws us off the smooth road, which life is full of bumps, right? We all have bumps in the road. These skills and practices are there for us. Whether that's take a moment now to remember what it's like to have patience, take a moment to notice different parts of myself. We're inviting that aspect of mindfulness to be enhanced. So I don't worry so much about the I used to worry more about it, but right now I don't worry so much about, is this my ego or is this my critic that's saying this? I just try to instead lean into a felt experience of what's being invoked by the statement or by the practice and notice the energy of that. And then if words or thoughts come, write them down. If you look over your notes later, you might go, oh, That was kind of my personality stepping in or my conditioning. Great, notice that. That's amazing witnessing. Or you might read your notes and go, "Oh, that was a part of me that's very loving. I like that." Great, take that in as an empowerment. Or maybe you read your notes and go, "Ooh, my inner critic got active there." But now you're seeing it. It hasn't hijacked you. So one of the things about the inner critic that I think is really important to note is that when we have more mindfulness, that witnessing, that calm, patient witnessing, the inner critic might be there, but we hear it or see it or feel it, and we are not it. We haven't merged. We haven't been hijacked. And that separateness allows us to approach it like a friend or to shift gears in some way. So we're going to talk a little bit about ways we can shift gears. I don't believe in trying to get rid of a part of us or get rid of a voice. Instead, I think, oh, okay, I'm noticing this. Now, what am I going to do that's different? So for me, yeah, some of you know me, so you know this about me because I always say the truth. That means I repeat myself a lot. But one of my go-to methods of healing my own inner critic was to sing, even though I sing terribly. But in the car alone, if I really felt that self-doubt, that criticism, I had different songs I would sing to myself. Some of it just really simple chanting, but the singing is a really important energy healing tool. For some of you, that might be bouncing and shaking it out. Some of you, it might be more a new thought you come up with, a new belief, a remembrance, a body feeling. So finding these ways that when we're mindful and we recognize, oh, that voice isn't really me. That's that's some past conditioning or that's some fear I have. Now what do I do? And that's what this whole workshop's really about. Getting that skill and that empowerment for ourselves that we give ourselves. No one else gives it to us. I mean, maybe sometimes someone shares that with us, and that's great. But the way I like to work is that each of us does it for ourselves. And these questions, these practices, these explorations are just kind of like pointing out instructions to help us get there. And sometimes we have to do it several times. So I actively worked with my inner critic for a couple years. That's not to worry anyone if you're just starting out with that, but it got easier and easier. And now it does jump in sometimes, of course, but it's much less likely to hijack me, ruin my afternoon. It's a temporary thing. It's something that I'm with. I don't ignore, but I'm with it for a few minutes. And then it's released and I can go on. A lot less procrastination then, a lot less self-shaming, guilting, and all of that. Um, okay. So let's go back to self-compassion journaling. So shifting back into yourself, just ground your energy again. If you were kind of feeling like you were reaching out into my words or my energy, come back into yourself. Take a deep breath. Call in your guides and support team. Maybe surround yourself with a beautiful luminous light and feel that inner smile in your heart radiating out. Okay. So just notice now. You don't have to write these answers. If you can, if you want, or you can just notice. How do you see your ability to have self-compassion? Ask yourself, what is that like for me? My ability to have self-compassion, kind of warm, caring patience with myself. I'm good at it. It's a struggle for me. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's hard. Depends on if I'm hungry or not. It's linked to the time of day. I'm one of those time of day people. After 7 p.m., much harder for me to have self-compassion. I think because then I'm tired. Some people, it's the time of year. I used to be so time of year oriented. That's why I live in California now, Because looking at my life at age 30, I was like, wow, I'm always doing a lot better in the summer. And I decided to live somewhere that felt like summer a lot of the year to me. Um, so, it might be time of year, time of day, levels of hunger or fatigue, of having things to do, being around people. So, when is it easier for you to be self compassionate, kind to yourself, patient with yourself? If you never feel that way towards yourself, what would be a self compassion inner thought? What would it sound like? What would your voice be like if you said something compassionate to yourself? Like, that's okay. This will pass. This feeling will pass. You're doing the best you can. What would that sound like in your own head? Try it out. Make it your own words, your own self compassion words. If you want, write them down or just feel them. A self compassionate statement, or it might just be a vibe, a feeling, an image, might be a gesture. And on that same track, how would it feel to be kind towards yourself? That might be easier. What is it like to be kind towards yourself? Do you say something? Do you remember something? You might want to ask your bird friend, your soul traveler, how would it feel to be kind toward myself? What do I need to remember or see or feel? And let's go a little deeper now with this. Imagining a bump in the road happens in your life. Maybe you know that well, maybe you've never had a bump in the road. Probably most of us have had bumps in the road of life. So what would be words of comfort for you when something difficult occurs? I personally knew I needed to do this work about 15 years ago when I had an almost car accident, and I immediately kind of started inner yelling at myself, calling myself names, and I had enough mindfulness to go, "Oh, that's not good. You're being really mean to yourself, Magali. This is a time to comfort yourself. How would I talk to a friend who nearly had a car accident? How can I talk to myself? How can I learn to talk to myself as though I were my own best friend?" So, what words of comfort can you offer yourself in a hard time? Write them down. Write down a few words of comfort. I love this picture because just the sweetness in the girl's face, and just that feeling of having like a dog's loving presence, that the dog loves you no matter what, right? And that kind of heart of a canine and that sweetness of a child, that might be one of the ways that we connect with those words of comfort. So another path towards the same goal of healing the inner critic, developing self-compassion, are common humanity statements. So if you were drawing a blank there as I asked you for words of comfort, try these on. See how these feel right now. So I'm going to say the statement and you feel into it in your own way. When I feel inadequate, I remind myself that feelings of inadequacy are shared by most people. So what we're doing here is we're not alone. We're remembering, look at all those lights in that picture. There are so many people on the planet that are not that different from you and me. We might have different places we grew up, different life experiences, and yet we're all human. And so when we can just feel into that common humanity. When I feel inadequate, I remind myself that feelings of inadequacy are shared by most people. When things are going badly for me, I see difficulties as a part of life that everyone goes through. Feel into that. When things are going badly for me, I see difficulties as a part of life that everyone goes through. Take a breath with that. Feel your body. Do you feel a connection to that experience of being a human being? You're not alone. This comes with the territory. It's okay. And the next statement, I can feel the bigger picture of my situation and sense that I am not alone. Take a deep breath as you say to yourself, I can feel the bigger picture of my situation and sense that I am not alone. And this last one is one of my favorite statements to remember. When I'm feeling sad or anxious, you could say, or another emotion, when I'm feeling angry or resentful or impatient, whatever it is for you, I know there will be a time when I feel differently. So simple, right? Yet so easy to forget. So just feel into that, and maybe you change the words a little for yourself. When I'm feeling sad or anxious, I know there will be a time when I feel differently. So take any one of these statements and rewrite it for a specific situation in your life or a specific way your inner critic shows up. A statement you can say to yourself. So you're writing a statement of common humanity that helps heal your inner criticism. So it could be you notice a time when you get anxious or you get a voice that tells you to be afraid or different in some way. What would it be like to take one of these statements and say it to yourself or modify one of these a little bit? Choose your favorite. And I like to have these kinds of statements ready on my phone. Our phone is never far away. And it can be really helpful if we know that we have a certain emotion or thought that reappears for us. Comment like often. Have a statement that you can repeat to yourself that's easy and ready for you for that healing of the inner critic. It might be really simple, just 3 words like, I am forgiving. I am connected. I am not alone. I am part of humanity. Whatever it is for you. So we're reaching the end of of the the journaling part of our workshop, and then we'll go into the sharing. But I do want you to take a moment to revisit the relationship with your inner critic. Almost like I always choose images for the slides for a reason. I always make my own slides. And you see the woman who is creating that like macrame, and she's taking the different strands and creating a pattern with them. And she's really taking just these strips of fabric and weaving them together to make something beautiful. Or see the woman who's picking the leaves and the different things to assemble a tree. I mean, a tree to assemble like a bouquet or something beautiful out of all the different parts. Or the woman who's making that gesture with her hands, using her body. And then there's light. There's always light, whether it's a candle or the sun shining or the fire or our own inner spirit. So just like these images here, let's see if there are some words to offer your inner critic or to offer your self-doubt. Or maybe it's a new gesture. Or maybe it's a new way to be with any self-anger or emotion. Or a new attitude towards any suffering that you have. So let's start with a couple words. Maybe you already did that from the common humanity. New words to offer your self-doubt. So I want to make sure you get at least one sentence written down or 3 words to offer your self-doubt. Or a song, your favorite song to play or to sing. Or you dance, or you breathe, or you hug yourself. So that would be the next one, the new gestures to offer when you feel impatient or angry or anxious, whatever it is for you. What's a gesture you can do? Maybe just something with your hands, even one mudra or one connection. But let it be an actual gesture that you know you can offer yourself. And with self-anger, if you feel any self-anger, think right now of an antidote to self-anger. Maybe it's patience, maybe it's self-love, maybe it's encouragement, maybe it's a reminder about time, this too will pass. Ways to be with self-anger that you approve of, you personally approve of. I love seeing maybe the grandchildren behind Beatrice. Hi. I love that. I saw the hugs as they came in and I was like, oh, that's so perfect. So gestures to offer, ways of being with yourself in moments of difficulty, attitude towards suffering. So my attitude towards my suffering is now going to be, and maybe there's words, maybe there's a gesture. Maybe it's just I'm wide open and patient. Or maybe it's an image like the ocean. Or maybe it's I'm grounded. I'm steady like a tree or a mountain. Okay. So I'm sure you've got a lot of notes now. Set an intention for this week. One way you'll practice self-compassion this week. Maybe it's to read your What I Love About Me list each day. Or maybe it's deciding on one of those statements or one of those gestures to try out for 1 week, for 1 minute each day. Just 1 minute of self-compassion. It's through those 1 minutes that we build up a whole new way of experiencing life and our reaction to our inner critic. And then, wow, our inner critic starts feeling like, you've got this. You're good. I don't need to protect you or remind you of threat. You've grown up. Or whatever it is our inner critic says. So take a moment to write that intention for yourself. And if you'd like, share it in the chat. Let the community support you. Oh, wow, it's your birthday, Beatrice. Happy birthday. Beautiful intentions here. Boundaries. I am love, joy, peace, and gratitude. Knowing that I'm not in control, giving it over. Gorgeous. Yeah. So does anyone have a share or a question about today or something that came up for you? Or maybe you're a coach that wants to use this work with an individual or a group. I'm open to whatever wants to be shared here. We did a lot in an hour, and if you're on YouTube in the future and you enjoyed this, please feel that you can subscribe, write to me, like the video, all that good stuff if you're enjoying it. All right. Well, I'm actually quite surprised that was over 70 of us here. There's nobody wants to talk. But oh, I saw Shireen's hand go up, and it's so good to see you, Shireen. Hi, Shireen.
Hi. Well,
Hi.
yes. Hi, nice to see you. I just put my hand up because I haven't had an opportunity to
I'm
talk
so
to you
glad.
for
It's
a
so good
long
to
time.
see you. I've
I've
seen
like
you in
this is
meditation occasionally too. So
yes,
yeah.
exactly. So I pop in there every now and again, but I haven't actually spoken to you. And it was just beautiful to be coached by you again. It's been a while,
Mhm.
and I always feel much better once we have a moment together. Anytime I get some Magali moment,
Oh,
a
I
Magali.
feel good when I get a Shireen moment too.
Yes.
And
So
you
I
know, some of your words have really always lived in with me for years now. Like I think
nice.
you were in energy coaching 3 years ago, 2 years ago. Yeah.
2 years ago, maybe I was in the first group
Yeah.
of it. Maybe I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
3 years ago.
I remember you talking early on, you talked about the space hugging you.
Yeah, so you remember that? Nice. Yeah,
I've
yeah.
never
This is
forgotten, and I
hugging me.
use those words with other people.
I love that. Nice. Well, Magali moment. You should start sharing that. I like that because
Thank you, Shireen. You wanted to
I
get the party started, huh?
yes, yeah, yeah. No, I definitely. I was feeling a bit moody this morning, and just coming back to what do I appreciate about myself, my life, I feel so much better. I actually stood up and stretched. It made me remind myself, get up and move. I've been like sitting at my desk quite often, and
Yeah,
a self-compassionate move would be to get up and move my body. And I actually, my little ukulele was tucked away. I brought him back out again during this. So I mean, yeah,
that's great. And you know, because
inspiring.
you're a poet, correct? I don't know if everyone knows that about you, but you write poetry.
I enjoy writing poetry,
Yeah.
yeah.
So do you feel that that practice, that creative flow also helps you if you ever get the inner critic is enlivened?
For sure,
Yeah.
especially if it happens during the night. I I like to write poetry during the night, and it usually has wisdom to share with me. So that's kind of when it's a dark night of the soul, it turns into some wisdom that wants to come through, and usually I do
That's
it through writing.
wonderful. And that, you know, that's a kind of courage that I think artists often have is to say, what does this want to share with me? And then it
Yeah.
becomes beautiful even out of pain.
Yes, exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. Nice.
yeah.
And I loved the meditation. It was just like, oh man, I love Magali leading me in meditation. My grandmother died a few weeks ago, and she came to me in the meditation, and she was 90. And
Wow.
so I enjoyed that moment of spending some time with her there in that meditation. So thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for
Thank you
being
for
here,
being here,
Shireen.
Shireen. Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Just love seeing you. And Valerie, hello. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
I had a really I almost didn't come on. I was busy doing a lot of stuff and writing, and then I thought, no, wait a minute. I think I can connect to this somehow. And
Good.
just as you were going through this, I thought of last week, and I actually had beat myself up for something that happened. I have now joined the I usually pride myself when I'm driving that I can back into a parking spot. Before I ever learned to drive, I visualized myself doing that. So, of course, I was with my brother-in-law in the car, of course, so I couldn't get too upset, but I did have some swearing moments, and I unfortunately backed into another vehicle for the first time ever. And
Wow.
on something that I've prided myself on being able to do so well. And I just ripped myself a new one in like, I let out a couple of expletives in the car, and I had to apologize to my brother-in-law for my language. He just laughed it off. And then I'm continuously beating myself up for the next 24 hours, but I had left a note. And then there was all that tense time and waiting to hear the person come to the door and actually, find out who it was, what were they going to say, how was the exchange going to go, but still beating myself up that I had actually done this and I'm so mad at myself. And then basically throughout the next couple of days, it was just like people telling me, you're not the only one that's done this. This happens all the time. Lots of people have done it. You're going to get over it. It's fine, And then finally, when the woman showed up whose car I had hit, she was such a lovely human being. And, I was trying to keep positive thinking going, and it turned out really well. And everything, she took my information. She was quick. She had to go somewhere else. And so then we connected back, and she'd sent me an email, and I ended up sending her money and just to keep it off my insurance, and just, everything just went smoothly as glass. And I was like, okay, so what was I so upset about to begin with? Like,
Wow.
this is a natural thing that happens when you're driving, But yeah, I just I went through all of this. Like,
Yeah.
all I had to go through the criticizing of myself, and then through the self-compassion, and just that the common humanity. It happens to everyone. We all,
Right. It seems
not
like
maybe not everyone, but it just seemed like it was just me at the time. And then, but yeah, it's common humanity, and I'm not the only one it happens to.
Yeah.
And it just get over it. So let it go. It's all over and done with,
And
and life moves on.
I love how you've been able to take that in, and how kind of like
Yeah,
the outside met you with that kindness.
yeah,
Right? Now, if
yeah.
anyone ever has an experience like this and they don't get Valerie's experience of the world, like mirroring back that kind of kindness of, because not everyone will have the ease,
No,
sort of.
no, that's right.
Here's a practice to do, okay? So you don't have to do it, Valerie, because you've already gone through it
Hmm.
in a great way. But if someone continues to struggle, reimagine that experience and send yourself now with compassion back there to reassure yourself. All the things you just said, Valerie, like everyone has this happen sometimes.
Hmm.
Everyone's okay.
Yeah,
It's human to make a mistake. So we can
yeah,
use this kind of work with real events in our life, going back
yeah.
to them. Everyone has different levels of trauma, so only
Hmm.
with events that feel safe to do that alone.
Yeah.
But it's can be really helpful. Yeah, thank you,
Hmm.
Valerie. Me too with the car thing.
Yeah, like as soon as you said it, before we even, I was like, yeah, that's exactly what just happened. I have to tell her this.
I get it. Thank you for sharing. That was awesome. And Moses, good to have you here, Moses. How are you, friend?
Very well, thank you.
Good.
I want to use this with a group that I have in 2 weeks, and I'm wondering, is that okay?
Well, yeah, you're a group
Okay,
coach. You're in the training. You
okay,
yes, yeah, you use every bit of it you want. And this Tuesday in our mentorship group,
right.
you're gonna get a new outline of how I presented this,
Oh,
all the slides, and
oh,
you can
okay.
ask me any questions there too, if anything shows up for you from what I give you of like how to anything you want to talk with me about, we can talk now, we can talk then. So I want to encourage you to use it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Dan, I don't know, what was your favorite part? What do you see as a highlight to use? Or you want to use all of it?
All of it.
All of it. Okay, good.
Or at least I want to go through it, and it's only an hour,
Yeah.
and I want to pick different pieces so that there's continuity in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what I find is live in a group versus on Zoom. I mean, this is live, but
it's on Zoom.
Oh, it's on Zoom. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Because this is one thing I've noticed when leading a group in person, I need to make a lot more space for sharing. On Zoom, people are a little bit more in the mode of taking it in.
Right.
And so that's just something to notice. If I were doing this live in a room with you guys, I'm sure there would have been a lot more questions and shares every step of the way.
I believe so too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Moses. Good to
Thank
see
you.
you. And I have an email ready to go out to you soon too with a
Thank
link and all that. Okay. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. All right. And Rachel. Hi, Rachel. Good to see you.
You can hear me?
I can. Yes.
Okay, good. Sorry.
Perfect.
Sorry. No, I just wanted to say thank you because I signed up for this. I didn't realize it was on Saturday, and my son was supposed to have a soccer game. That's why I'm wearing his
Oh,
jersey.
cute.
And we got there and it was canceled. And then we got home and I got the email saying it's about to start. And I was like, oh, great. So I'm glad I got to join because the past, like, I consider myself really a positive person. I'm the one usually trying to lift everybody else up. The past like 3 years have been kind of a lot. Like my husband had like 2 judgments for like $33 million. So they're taking like all of our properties and we were hoping they wouldn't be able to take anything. And then January they started taking everything. So and at one point he was in contempt of court, so he went to jail last year. The kids didn't know. I said that he had an emergency trip to and it was just because he wouldn't comply. It was stupid. It was just him being stubborn. But they said he was going to be there for 6 months, and thank
But
God.
talk about a
It
bump
was
in the
like 2 weeks.
road that you've
Yeah,
had
yeah,
to deal with. This is
yeah.
a real
And
bump in the
and
road.
then
Yeah.
while that happened, the roof caved in our house, like
Literally?
a week later. Yeah, literally caved in the house. And then I just took the kids over to, we had a beach property at that time, and I was like, we'll just treat it like it's vacation. It's okay. And my son almost died twice in the past since January. My oldest son, like it's been a lot of stuff.
Wow.
And I've been like super positive, and I say everything happens. I don't know why I'm getting emotional. Well, I do know why, because it's a lot that
And you're sharing. You're
trying
very
to find the
courageous.
positive and everything. But I noticed the past like the past probably past week and a half, I've been kind of short with everyone. I don't know if you remember, but I have 6 kids too, and I noticed and I homeschool 3 of them. And I noticed my patience isn't as much isn't as good as it should be with the kids.
Yeah.
And I remember at one point last week, I had just counseled one of my girlfriends, and she was going through a hard time, and then I got home and something happened, I don't know, and it triggered me, and I just started getting that critic in my head where I was like, well, I'm always lifting everyone else up, and who's going to lift me up? And I started getting in that little pity party, and I hadn't had that voice in my head in a really long time.
Yeah.
And I was like, uh-oh, this is not good. I need something to get me out of this. I can't be like this. So
Can I ask you a question though,
yeah.
which might be interesting to look at, is that voice, what I interpret is that there's a need underneath it that's really real, that you deserve to have someone lift you up or care for you.
Yeah, but the answer that came up right now in the meditation was, Rachel, you are, and I teach this to other people, that you are that person. you can be that person, and you have
You can be
when
that
you
for
meditate,
yourself, you mean?
yeah, and
Yeah.
you have all of it doesn't have to be a person. Like I meditate every day, and actually you got me started in that a few
Oh,
years.
good. Oh,
So
good. Or,
um
or, yeah, I hope it's good.
it is good. It is. Um, and so in this meditation, it came to me, it's like, Rachel, you teach people all the time, like you to love themselves and to send love to the past and love to the future. And so you're just not sending it to yourself, and you're focusing too much on everybody else's stuff. So you need to remember that,
Yeah.
when I meditate and I'm praying for my son and for my husband, and I need to include myself on that. So I think had it not been for this, I wouldn't have had that little moment, because I felt myself, going,
Yeah. Yeah.
this could get worse. This could turn into something. Because I feel like I know that I've been really strong through all this and finding the positive and in everything. But something just
I'm
got
so
me like, wow,
glad. I'm
it got
so
a hold of
glad
me. Yeah.
that came through. But also I don't know if this helps you, but statements of self-compassion for yourself going through this, like anyone would feel, it is normal to feel this way.
Yeah.
I can also bring in my positivity and my strength and my kindness, and I know it's normal to feel the way I feel.
Yeah.
Just like you would say to a friend who was having big things like this happen,
Yeah.
it's truly, this is hard.
Yeah.
It's okay to feel how you feel. Like, give yourself that permission.
Yeah.
And
I
then
so
pull yourself, do what you need for yourself, but also give yourself permission to be with what's happening. And if it's difficult, it's difficult.
yeah.
Yeah.
I just get afraid to. I think I get afraid to feel those things, and I don't want them to take a hold of me.
I understand completely. Yeah.
So
Yeah. And
that's why
sometimes we don't, it's okay to not process it that way until after we're through.
Yeah.
So one metaphor I like is only take little sips of what you need to be with that's hard. And then later you'll have time, to take a full drink.
Yeah.
But I'm not talking about alcohol here. I'm
No,
just,
I know.
you know what I mean? As a metaphor, sips of water. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I would be drowning in it if it was alcohol.
right,
Yeah.
right, right, right. Thank you for sharing and being so vulnerable, and tell the community, like, I don't know, write to me, let us know how we support you as you go through this, because
Oh, no, I mean, honestly, I'm okay. I needed this refresher, because
yeah,
like I said, the past week and a half, I've noticed myself, like, this is not
yeah.
my normal,
Yeah, but also just know that you are part of this, and that I want us all to be here for each other. So you're sharing in a community of people who, like you, like to be there for others and
Yeah.
offer support. So
Thank you. Thank
I'm
you,
sure you're
Kathy.
going to get a lot of private messages right now, by the way.
I appreciate it.
Okay, good to
Thank you.
see you, Rachel. Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah. And Vernell, hi. I don't
Okay.
hear
Can you
you yet.
hear me now?
Yes, now I do. Hi there.
All right. Well, thank you for all that you do, Magali. This has been awesome, as everything is that you do. So thank you for this. I just wanted to talk because it really has affected me. I have been dealing with the actually uncovering my limiting belief that I've been playing myself small to fit in. And it's like, what do you do with that? Where I constantly am at the place of, although I've done well with things, I still push myself and say, I'm not enough. I'm not enough. And this has been so helpful, which is something that I would like to share with those that I've been coaching. So I was looking at this of how could I do this for a group? How would I do? It wouldn't be as long as we are doing. So how do I go about that? Is what my question is.
Okay. Vernell, remind me, are you in one of the coach trainings? I think you are.
Yes, I was actually with their relationship coaching training,
Okay,
and I've
great.
done the life coaching.
Okay, great. Well, write to me and I'm happy to
Okay.
share with you these slides. And
Okay.
you're doing a smaller, like you want to condense it more, you could
Yes.
just be, and this goes for anyone, you could, oh, and by the way, I wanted to mention to everyone, oh, I'm forgetting the name of the book, but Kristen Neff is a psychologist who writes about self-compassion. And I was reading another book that referenced some of her self-compassion work and I took some of these quotes from one of her sort of uh, it's like a questionnaire she gives people to judge how much self-compassion they have. But I turned it more into a practice of being with those statements. But so you could take any of those three streams, self-compassion, common humanity, mindfulness, and work with one of those one day and then with another one the other day with a group. If working, because I also saw Mark had a question about like pacing of this as a teacher using it or a coach, a group coach. With a group, you might, like in a smaller group, I would have everyone together in Zoom in gallery view, ask everyone there, let's say you have 10 people, everyone to have their video on. And when everyone has like one sentence written, hold it up for me to see, or put the heart emoji so I know we've got it. We've got our one statement. The point of this isn't to like do journaling that's really long. If you remember when I was walking us through the journal questions, it's to get an image, to get a statement, to answer a question. It's not to write and write and write and write. It's more to like gather words and images that help us with compassion, to hear or relate to our inner critic, to understand it better. You know, these were not meant to be long writing experiences in terms of the pacing.
Oh, okay.
If you're with a group that's comfortable, everyone sharing, then you might take breaks and ask everyone to share. What does your inner critic say? Or what's a statement of self-compassion that works for you? You know, depending on the group you're working with and everyone's engagement practices.
Okay. So what do you do if you don't get where people don't want to share? You just kind of talk through it.
You saw me today. Not a lot of
Yeah,
people were sharing during.
this is
You know,
true.
I have to remind myself, people, usually when people in my groups are not sharing a lot in the chat or raising their hand, is because it's really touching something deep. And this work with the inner critic is very deep. So I remind myself as a leader that that's okay. And fortunately, I'm pretty comfortable just talking and then stopping and doing some breathing and just inviting the experience to teach us. So
That's a good point, because that's exactly how it was for me. I was so into me and focusing on me where I'm like, oh, this is really good. So writing a lot of things down. So that
yeah,
was helpful.
yeah. All
Well,
right.
thank you, thank you, thank you. This has been
Absolutely.
really helpful.
Um,
Wonderful.
thank you, and glad to see you. And I'm glad that it's impacting you. It's wonderful. Yeah.
Well, absolutely.
Yeah.
All righty.
Great. Okay, guys. So we are just at an hour and a half. Perfect. Um, let's close with a little bit of just like a 1 minute practice where we just, if you can, go to gallery view right now. And you can do this if you're watching this later in a recording too. Just imagine all of us together in a beautiful garden and we're making a circle and holding hands. And as you breathe and feel that connection with everyone here, see if you can add a connection with all people you've ever known, all friends through time and space. And imagine this circle. Your circle might start to get very big. Maybe the circle gets so big it surrounds the entire planet. All connections, people from all time and space, holding hands in a circle around the earth. And just for a moment, feeling that magnificent, magnificent life flow of the earth. I wasn't expecting to do this visualization. It just came in. And so if you want to kind of open your hands and just imagine Mother Earth as being felt in your hands, as well as this connection to all of humanity, and knowing that you have so much inside of you to feel, to know, to share, to receive, and you're connected with all of life. And feeling that wishes for your own wellness, your own growth and self-compassion and kindness, and also feeling into the wishes that you have for others to heal and feel self-love, mindfulness, common humanity. And as you have this wish for others, know that others are wishing for you to have this as well. And we're connected by our intentions for ourselves and for others. And just knowing this, take this thought and this energy with you throughout your day and evening and dream time, so that it just keeps giving you insights. It keeps giving you healthy power and supporting your connection to love. Yeah. All right, guys. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day or evening or afternoon. Take care. And we'll be meditating on this same theme Monday. I'll find a way to make this into a meditation and breathing without all the thought. Okay? Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.